Vice President Kamala Harris is reaching out to Mark Cuban for advice on crypto. And pro-crypto group Fairshake becomes the largest super PAC of the election cycle, raising over $200 million. And the Ethereum spot ETFs are off to an amazing start with $1 billion in trading volume today. And Solana is getting huge adoption with real-world companies such as Hamilton Lane, which has put a private credit fund on the blockchain. We're going to break this down and much more. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin. Some people are starting to get a bit nervous because Bitcoin pulled back a bit. Right now it's trading at $65,795 at the time of recording. So what's happening here? Well, first, the DXY is finding some strength on the daily chart, but this is on the micro. On the macro, we're in an uptrend, we're in a bull market, as I've been saying, and these little micro movements of Bitcoin pulling back a bit, the DXY pumping up a bit, are nothing to be alarmed by. We are going to see these type of things happen because Bitcoin won't pump in a straight line. Likewise, the DXY is not going to drop and crash in a straight line. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, both up and down. We've seen this time and time again. In addition, you have the Mt. Gox creditors have begun receiving Bitcoin on Kraken exchange. So there is some sell pressure here, similar to what took place with Germany and them selling the Bitcoin they had. But these events we've seen are not significant in affecting the bull market. And once they're over and the market keeps moving up. So these are the factors right now that are holding up the market, so to speak. In addition, we saw the stock market started cooling down. The Dow Jones, the S&P 500, both were overbought. So they're right now in a little bit of a corrective phase, seeing a bit of a pullback. Healthy stuff, right? Markets don't go up in a straight line, and these pullbacks help us to build support levels before we bounce to higher highs. Now, obviously, there's going to be a ultimate top to the bull market, right? I've been saying we're in a macro bull market for stocks, crypto, real estate, and so forth, but we're not there yet. The signals are not flashing yet. But this is why I've been telling you guys, have a plan so you know what price points you're taking profits at. Now, guys, today, of course, the Ethereum spot ETFs went live and they are off to a great start. Around 10 a.m. Eastern this morning, we got news that the trading volume was at $200 million in the first 45 minutes. Well, since then, the trading volumes has hit $1 billion. So that's pretty incredible. We're off to a great start. This is very bullish. And I've been stating, I don't expect the Ethereum ETFs to do what the Bitcoin ETFs did. Obviously, there's not as much demand for ETH as there was Bitcoin, but they will be successful. They will do well because Ethereum is the second largest crypto in the market and there's a lot of demand for it. I think there would have been more demand if staking was involved because part of the appeal for Ethereum is that staking component to be able to earn passive rewards and yield and so forth. But guys, great stuff here. And the folks at Bloomberg and all these guys have been tracking it and it's off to a great start, guys. So as I said in yesterday's podcast, I think there's going to be a lagging effect where as the inflows grow, as the market finds its bottom in this mini pullback, and as the media starts talking about it, you're going to see more upward price action. So we got to be patient, let things play out. But this is a great on-ramp being set up here for the second largest crypto assets, guys. Pretty bullish stuff. Now, here's what Congressman Tom Emmer, who's a GOP majority whip, had to say about the ETFs going live. He says, great to see the SEC adjust course and allow ETH spot ETFs to begin trading today. On second thought, we should actually be thanking the courts. Gary Gensler has to go. So we know he's been trashing Gary for a long time, and I've had him on the pod quite a few times as well. But he's spot on. This is because of the courts. Gary wouldn't have approved the Bitcoin ETFs if it wasn't for the loss in against Grayscale in the courts. And I've been saying it for a long time. I don't think Gary wanted to mess with BlackRock and Fidelity and these big names in the courts. He would have gotten his ass handed to him because if Grayscale, a small crypto firm, could defeat him in court, imagine what the Wall Street folks would have done with unlimited capital and resources. So Gary capitulating for sure, and Tom Emmer spot on here. Now, speaking of the SEC, we have some big updates from Taylor Barr of the Digital Chamber. He said this week the House will pass the Financial Services Appropriations Package for 2025. This funds agencies like the SEC, U.S. Treasury, FTC, FDIC, etc. Friendly reminder that there's sections on one, barring the SEC from using funds to enforce SOB 121. This is significant because there was bipartisan support in repealing SOB 121 in the House and Senate, but Biden ultimately vetoed it. But this is another guardrail to rein in the SEC that you can't use any of your budget towards enforcing this bullshit rule, which the Government Accountability Office shot down. And we know if it wasn't for Elizabeth Warren speaking in Biden's ear, he wouldn't have vetoed this, right? Because I don't think Biden cares one way or the other, but he's going to listen to Elizabeth Warren. But we know that this whole situation obviously has escalated where Biden dropped out of the re-election race and so forth. Number two, limiting the SEC's ability to issue enforcement actions against digital asset transactions. This is a big one. So what they can do from an enforcement standpoint is being limited. Number three, preventing the U.S. Treasury from issuing a CBDC. So once this makes it out of the House, of course, it has to go to the Senate and it'll work its way up to the president. And let's see if it can become law, but this is a good sign. Even if it doesn't become law, it just shows that Gary is losing the narrative. Elizabeth Warren is losing the narrative. Their whole facade of lies is collapsing on them. And on that note, guys, we got big news from Kamala Harris, who's, of course, the current vice president and now the Democrat presidential candidate. So Mark Cuban says Kamala Harris camp reached out with multiple questions about crypto. So they reached out to him. He said the following: I'm getting multiple questions from her camp about crypto, he said Tuesday. So I take that as a good sign. The feedback I'm getting, but certainly not confirmed by the VP, is that she will be far more open to business, artificial intelligence, crypto, and government as a service, Cuban said. Folks, this is big, and it goes back to crypto should not be a partisan issue. Both Democrats and Republicans should be supporting this, but because the Democrats messed up and let Elizabeth Warren drive this clown car anti-crypto army nonsense, that car has crashed and it's now on fire, and the Democrats are feeling it. Now, the good thing is that many Democrats turned their backs on Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler and helped pass the FIT21 bill in the House, voted to repeal SOB 121 and so forth. And you had like Ro Khanna, who I'm interviewing tomorrow, held a crypto roundtable with Mark Cuban and the Biden administration and other folks. So there's some Democrats who are like, you know what, we're done with Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler, and we're going to try to fix this. Yesterday, I shared a clip of Congressman Wiley Nichols saying he's been talking to Kamala Harris about crypto policy and moving away from the SEC and Gary Gensler's approach to it. So things are moving in the right direction. This is not me trying to endorse Kamala Harris or Trump or whatever, but rather trying to highlight that crypto's here to stay and the Democrats screwed up and they have to fix this now. And there's some promising signs here. Will she actually do it? We'll have to wait and see. And I love what James Murphy, aka Metalon Man, had to say. He retweeted this news saying, a crypto pivot? Ignore what they say. Watch what they do. This is really easy. They do, and now he's speculating, right? This is the way they can do things. One, acknowledge and revoke Operation Choke Point 2.0. Number two, fire Gensler and appoint crypto industry veteran. Number three, drop cases against Ripple, Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, Consensus, etc. Number four, sign bill repealing SOB 121. Number five, grant Custodia Bank a Fed master account. For starters. Well, you know, look, this would be the ideal scenario. Will they actually do it? I don't think so. But if they do, that will be an incredible move. And it will be a big checkmate to Donald Trump and his campaigning around crypto. But look, Gary Gensler is still in office. Elizabeth Warren is still there. And she can easily spew her venom in Kamala Harris's ear, right? But hopefully these other Democrats can really convince Kamala to do the right thing, where this is not an election issue anymore. It should just be America's pro crypto versus Republicans are pro crypto and Democrats are not, right? That's how it should be. But guys, crypto is a political force, as I've been telling you guys for months and months now. Pro crypto group Fairshake becomes largest super PAC of election cycle, raising over $200 million. The last numbers we had gotten was over 160, where Coinbase, A16Z, and Ripple had each put an additional $25 million in. Can you imagine in this election cycle, crypto is the largest super PAC? I would not have thought that, guys. If you told me about this in 2023, I wouldn't have believed you. Out of all the other special interest groups and all these things that are going on, crypto is the largest. And I think the crypto industry finally got tired of the unlawful attacks against it from SEC Gary Gensler, Elizabeth Warren's anti-crypto army nonsense, and now those who are anti-crypto are getting demolished in the elections. We saw it on Super Tuesday. We saw it in the primaries. And that's why I think a lot of Democrats pivoted and turned their backs on Gensler and Warren. So this is huge, folks. It's pretty amazing how much capital has been raised, and they are supporting both Democrats and Republicans who are pro-crypto. So amazing stuff. Look how far we've come, guys. Once crypto was called a scam, a fad, and some of the biggest names were coming out saying nonsense about it. Now we're a political force. TradFi is building with the technology and launching financial products like ETFs. Presidential candidates are campaigning on it. It's amazing what's taking place. Now, a quick word from our sponsor, guys, and that is Uphold, which is one of the top crypto platforms out there. They have Bitcoin and all the top altcoins. They have 260 plus cryptocurrencies on the platform. You can also trade precious metals on this platform, such as gold, silver, palladium, and platinum. I've been using Uphold since 2018. I've interviewed the CEO, CFO, and many of the representatives, so I can vouch for this platform. They are also fully reserved. They don't commingle or lend out your funds and all that nonsense. And you can review their transparency report. So if you'd like to learn more about Uphold, check out the link in the description. Now, guys, yesterday I told you about mainstream media starting their coverage about Bitcoin being a strategic reserve asset in the United States. And of course, everybody's waiting in anticipation to hear from Trump because the rumor is he's going to present his plan to make Bitcoin a strategic reserve asset. Well, I spoke to someone today, actually Cody Carbone at the Digital Chamber, and I'll be publishing that interview tomorrow. He said, in addition to that, he's hearing that the Senate will introduce a bill this week that proposes making Bitcoin a U.S. Treasury reserve asset. So this is wild, guys. I'm blown away at what's happening. But if a bill is being presented by the Senate and Donald Trump is saying these things, get ready. This bull market is heating up. As I've been saying, have a plan because we could start to see some movement upward as these narratives are being built and mainstream media is covering it. So today, Fox Business covered it. Yesterday, it was CNBC. So the narrative is spreading and retail is going to wake up. People are going to be like, what? Donald Trump saying this? What? The Senate is proposing this? So get ready, guys. Exciting times are ahead. Now, we got big news around Solana. About a month and a half ago, I bought the dip on Solana, adding a significant amount to my portfolio because I'm seeing all the adoption with the launch of Blinks, with the ETF filings, and just more adoption outside of meme coins, right? At one point, I didn't care about Solana because of the meme coins. I'm like, okay, whatever. But look at this news. Hamilton Lane puts private credit fund on Solana. Hamilton Lane is a TradFi company. They're no joke. This is pretty amazing. So let me give you a quote from the article. Hamilton Lane is making its senior private credit fund available on the Solana blockchain through a partnership with Libre. Libre, an institutional Web3 infrastructure, is a joint venture launched earlier this year by hedge fund Brevin Howard's WebN Group and Nomura's Laser Digital. It launched a Web3 protocol on the Solana network for the issuance and distribution of funds. Through this, Solana's users will be able to access Hamilton Lane's Senior Credit Opportunities Fund scope through a feeder fund structure. This is what you want to see as an investor in these different crypto tokens. which ones are getting real world adoption, not by some random startup, which is, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but you want to see tradfi giants, you want to see established companies coming in and saying, you know what? Yeah, we want to build on this because it makes sense. It improves the way we can do business, improves efficiency, and much more. So, guys, huge news for Solana, and that's why I've added a significant amount in my portfolio, and I'm going to ride the liquidity wave, which has we've seen Solana get a ton of liquidity. A lot of VCs are backing it, and much more. Now, moving ahead, guys, we all know that Fetch.ai, Singularity, and I forgot the other one that was merging with to become the ASI Alliance. They have raised $53 million to create the world's first modular AGI supercomputer and build state-of-the-art high-performance computing and AI data centers. I told you guys in December 2022 and January 2023, AI was going to be a big narrative. I put a bet on Fetch and Render. Those made me incredible returns, and it's not ending. This is a big narrative here, so very, very bullish. I'm actually going to get the folks from Singularity on the pod to talk about this. That's a lot of money they raised there, so pretty incredible stuff. Let me give you some details. According to a July 23rd announcement, the investment's first phase will allocate $26.5 million to the supercomputer, incorporating modular data center solutions from Echo Blocks, graphics processing units, and processors from companies such as NVIDIA, AMD, Tenstorrent, as well as AI servers from Asus and Gigabyte. Singularity Net's supercomputer will optimize the training of deep neural networks, DNNs, large language models, LLMs, including a multi-module variations, the hybrid neural symbolic computing architecture such as OpenCog Hyperion. I don't even know half of what I just said, but I have to do some more research on this. But that's a lot of capital they raised, and it looks like they're trying to really build the future of AI with blockchain, because I think those two technologies are symbiotic. AI helps to enhance blockchain features and capabilities, and blockchain helps to police AI when it comes to content and deep fakes and all that stuff. So this is big news, folks. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Folks, don't forget to sign up for my free email newsletter on Substack. Link will be in the description. Also, grab a copy of my book, Rethinking Crypto. It's available on Amazon in paperback and digital. It's also available on barnesandnobles.com. Folks, grab a copy to support the podcast. Buy a couple copies for your friends and family who want to learn about crypto. It talks about crypto's past, present, and future. It includes investment tips as well. And if you bought a copy already, please leave a rating and review on Amazon. It would really help me out. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you all later.